Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to Storytime Slots with another video. Today is Sunday, and I thought I would talk to you guys about an important topic. It's on my mind. We always talk about the negative impact of gambling, and we tie it to the financial negative impact. But do we really have content about other things that are negatively impacted when we're at a casino, when we gamble? You know, there's a lot of things that impact us in life, right? When we're gambling, when we're losing money, it's not only the financials. One thing that comes to mind is health. Health, stress, the time that we, use up in our lives. When we lose in casinos, sure, the winnings are fun, but the losses can be really, really bad and sometimes tragic. Financials take a big hit. You lose a lot of money. You lose all the money in your checking account, your paychecks, this, that. But we lose something else when we gamble, and that is health, right? I read a comment from one of my viewers the other day, and it really stuck to me. He said, a couple of really well-known YouTube slot influencers have blown up. And not in the sense of numbers or channels, literally blown up. Meaning they were really fit and skinny before they started or when they started their channel, but then they gained a lot of weight, blew up. I know how that feels. I know exactly how that feels. When you're gambling, it's really hard to stick to a healthy eating schedule, a working out schedule. You're always gambling, stressing out. You're not eating right at the casinos. You're eating unhealthy junk. And that's very easy to do. Don't eat at casinos, guys. There's no healthy options. There's nothing there. If you're trying to lose weight, maintain a healthy lifestyle, there's really nothing there for you to benefit from, to help you maintain that healthy eating lifestyle. When I was on my health journey, and we'll get into that a little later, but if I were to eat at casinos, I would skip all the fast options. I would just go, if I'm going to eat buffets, buffets are a rarity right now at casinos. But if you do have a buffet, I would go to the salad bar, make myself a nice salad and a soup, and that's it, right? But I know you might be thinking, I'm not going to pay 30, 40, 50, sometimes $100 for a buffet, and I'm just going to eat greens. No, you go in, not only greens, but you could eat greens and meats, but then there's so many desserts there. You want to get all the bang for your buck, especially when you go on vacation to one of these casinos in Vegas, the alcohol, the restaurants, the carbs, the sugars. Yeah, we overindulge. And this happens on vacation. That happened to me. So when I gamble at casinos, when I was losing weight, I would skip the food. My local casino, I wouldn't even eat there. Half the time I wouldn't even eat there because I knew that their eating options weren't that healthy and great. So I would skip that. I know it's hard to do on vacation, right? It's very hard to do on vacation. When you're at home preparing your meals, it's easy. You have a schedule, you have your workout schedule. But when you are somewhere like Vegas, one thing leads to another, and then that starts bad habits at home too. When you get home, gain 10 pounds, it's not good. So things that get impacted negatively, your health, you gain weight. Let's talk about stress too. Let's talk about that stress level at casinos. Win or lose, The majority of the time it's losing, but win or lose. You know what my doctor once told me? He's like, I had a patient that had a heart attack because they won a jackpot. Yeah, he had a heart attack. Not only losing, winning. And I've heard countless stories of people having heart attacks because they lost so much money at casinos. It's stress, guys. Stress levels go up. We don't feel it, especially when you're young. You know, you don't feel it. Nothing's going to happen to you, right? Ever. But it does. It does, and it's hard. Every little thing that happens to you at casinos, the excitement, the rush, the losing, it all impacts your health some way, somehow. And we kind of control that, you know. Keep that in mind. One thing that I kind of do right now is limit my visits, limit my time, the amount of time I'm there. You know, the high pressured environment, the like I said, the losing can get to all of us. You know, we don't feel it at the moment. Also, when you're indoors, sometimes the casinos are smoke filled. I'm a smoker. It doesn't really bother me because, hey, I'm doing something unhealthy. I'm smoking. That's going to be taken care of. I know I said that many times, but I got to take care of that. You know, my doctor and I got to take care of the smoking, you know. I was doing great, guys, with my health journey. I was doing great. This weekend, I have another family trip to go to. But after this weekend, guys, after this weekend, I'm really taking that kind of stuff seriously, you know. I'm not 20 years old anymore. And I'm assuming you guys are not. Looking at the age brackets of my viewers, you guys are not 18 or 20 years old. So we really have to think about that, you know. There's a lot of things that happen when we gamble. Emotionally, yes, I said financially, but emotionally, physically, it's bad for our health. You know, it's really bad for our health. So one advice I would give is limit your visits, limit the hours that you're there. I'm not saying don't gamble, quit gambling. I'm not saying that. But be mindful of that. Be mindful of the stuff that we do, how we digest, you know, and register what happens at casinos. Because you might not feel it at the time, but when you get home, that kind of stuff, stress creeps up on you guys. Stress creeps up on everybody. You know, it does. Especially when you're up there in age, right? When you're up there in age, you got to really watch it, you know. A lot of older senior citizens watching this, you know what I'm talking about, right? And then also when you start factoring in the losses and the stress that brings on, the money that you lose that you weren't supposed to gamble, that brings on a lot of crap that we have to be mindful of. You know, when that commenter left that comment, we're talking about some slot influencers that really blew up. I gotta really take that into consideration because when I started the channel, right, and some of you guys, if you're new here, you don't know, but I'll tell you, when I started the channel, right around the same time I started my diet. I was doing great, guys. I was feeling great, talking about gambling, showing the realities of gambling. And I lost some weight. I was feeling really good, right? I was feeling great. And the new year came, and I started taking trips, vacations. I'm not blaming my vacations on it. It's all up here. It's all what we do. But I started kind of like eating out, drinking, and gained some of the weight back. I don't feel happy about it. I'm not happy about it, guys. I'm not proud of it. You know, this kind of stuff should be avoided. All that work, all that happiness, all that effort I put in went to naught because now I gained some of the weight back. I don't want to be like that guy that commenter described, blowing up like a fat balloon in videos. Smoking and drinking and, smoking, drinking, sure, we have fun doing it at the time, but all those things have after effects. And, it creeps up on us and you never know, right? So while we have the opportunity right now, if you need to adjust your health, your stress levels, to make your health better, this is the most important video that you can watch a gambler talk about, because this doesn't really get talked about at all on slot channels. What this guy's talking about? Losing weight, eating right? I'm telling you right now, this is important. This is the most important video you can watch if you need that kind of change in your life. I know I do. I know I got to start getting back into this thing. I was feeling good, man. When you start eating shit, you feel it. When you start eating like shit, you feel it. When you start stressing out, and then that brings stress too. It's not only the gambling and the losing money, the gaining weight. I don't want to go back to where I was. And I'm almost there, and I'm not proud of it. I am not freaking proud of it. So these kind of things help me out. These kind of things. Getting out in nature. Walking. Clearing my mind. Breathing fresh air. Of course, the diet is so important. You are what you eat, and that's so true. I'll tell you right now from experience that sugars is the number one killer. The sugars is what does us in. Everything has sugar in it. The corn syrups, the ice creams, the breads, all that stuff. We talk about the meats and the fatty meats. Nah, I don't think so. I know a guy that eats bacon and a lot of meats and proteins. The guy's healthy and feeling great. I'm not a food specialist, or I'm not like a nutritionist, a gambler. But I can tell you that I was feeling great eating fatty foods, fatty meats, and greens. I was feeling amazing. Laying off the sugars, breads, pastas, potatoes, fast food. Anything fast food, anything packaged, anything with 1 million ingredients, stay away from. Cookies, anything processed in a lab, canned food, like all that kind of stuff. That's all junk, guys. We got to start eating right. Win or lose at casinos, we have control over this. We don't have control over hitting a jackpot. That's all luck. But this is not luck. This is choice. We have to really take control of what we put in our system. And guess what? Guess what that does? That helps us control our stress levels. Because eating bad, smoking, whatever, that all contributes to stressful life. We're already stressed out losing money. We don't need the other stuff added onto this. I bring up a big slot channel. Yeah, I know. I've seen his earlier videos. He was thin, looking good. But now some of these guys have blown up. And not in a good way, a bad way. My friend Avo from Casino Jackpot. The guy's thin. The guy's he looks like he's in shape. I wonder if he works out. But the guy feels like, it looks like he's taking care of himself when it comes to diet. I don't know. Avo, chime in the comments. Do you take care of yourself when, as far as health goes? I know. Does he smoke cigarettes? I think he does. I've seen him smoke. I smoke cigarettes. Doesn't make it right. The smoking habit, it calms me down. If I don't have a cigarette, like in 2-3 hours, I go crazy. This is the addiction. That's an addiction. I got to cut that. I got to start my diet again. I got to start my eating right again. I got to get back into the thing again. When I was in the eating right thing, And when I would go to a casino, I would go in and out. I wouldn't eat there, but I would still feel good because I knew that I had something to look forward to. I'm progressing in a good way here. Yeah, I lost on a slot machine, but at least I knew I had this thing that I was doing good at. You know, nobody could take that away from me. Casinos, you can't take that away from me. You can't. You can't take what I put in my system. You can't make me gain weight, you know, and live an unhealthy life because I have control over it. So those kind of things affect us negatively. It's not only the financials, you know, so keep that in mind, guys. And I am going to keep it in mind. I'm keeping that in mind. I am starting to realize that as I'm packing in some pounds, that it's not a good feeling. It is not a good feeling. So, number one, after this weekend, I'm going to really, really sit down and be serious about this. Because, hey, we'll start today, we'll start tomorrow, we'll start next week. No. We got to do this for our own health, guys. Because if we don't have health, and if we're not feeling good, screw casinos. We're not going to be able to gamble because we're going to be sick in bed. Or even worse. So, something to think about, guys. We're not spring chickens. Most of my viewers are up in age, you know, middle-aged or older. So we need to really think about that. Stress levels of losing. You got to calm down, guys. You know, I got to really calm down. You know, I can't let the losses. It's not about the money for me. It's about the fact that I'm losing there, sitting there, and I never have luck. How come these guys can hit majors, big majors, and I can't? And it affects me, right? You get pissed off. You start cussing. A perfect example of this is my Friday video that I posted where I got upset. I started cursing in video. We're very, you know, that it happens. We're human. But that kind of stuff. I might not have pain right now, but it affects you psychologically, physically. It builds up. It builds up over time. So that's something to think about, gamblers. You know, it's something to think about. There's a lot of things to think about, you know, not just the money we lose. So I thought I'd make this video just to like bring some awareness about health and stress and how gambling can bring these things on. You lose money, what does that do? You're short for the bills, what does that do? That brings on more stress. It's an unhealthy lifestyle. Even a rich person that doesn't have any effects on bills, everything is taken care of, right? You're still in that environment for a long time, it's going to affect you. It is going to affect you. The noises, not enough daylight, not enough vitamin D, not the smoke smell, all those things can affect your life. The negative impacts. So right now, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I have this family outing. Going out to the desert. Hopefully we'll hit some casinos over there. I wonder if Agua Caliente lets me record. I'm going to find out. Rock and roll. I'm going to be out of Yamava, guys. I'm going to be out of that place. In the high desert somewhere. Having fun with family. But what I'm trying to say is, let us, and I say us, because I need to take some of this advice as well, right? Let us realize and fix what we have control over. We have control over our diets, stress levels, because I've heard stories, guys. How many times have you seen ambulances cart away people, like at casinos? Some people think they're going to sue. They accidentally fall, and I'm going to sue the casino because I lost. I heard Indian reservations is very tough for that. But yeah, some people fall. Some people, something happens to them. Some people have heart attacks. Some people start feeling bad at casinos. Guess what? You see that all the time with the ambulances coming, the fire department. You see people getting stretched out, like away. It happens, guys, especially us older people. Now, when I say older, I'm not in my 60s. like I said, don't let this fool you. I got a couple of people saying, hey, you're an old man. I don't think I'm an old man. Yeah, I'm overweight. Gotta lose some pounds. I screwed up, guys. I screwed up. I had a goal, I missed it. And now it looks like I'm going to miss that June, July goal because we're in May already. And I'm not back to square one with my pounds, but I'm like, it's inching closer, and I feel like crap, So I'm opening up here, guys. I'm bringing this awareness. I'm setting myself up as an example for all of us to change, to live a healthier, happier lifestyle. And if that means that staying away from gambling and casinos is going to help you achieve that, I'm all for that, guys. I'm all for that. Because all the money in the world, I don't care if you're a billionaire, all the money in the world cannot buy you health. Okay? Cannot buy you health. There's probably billionaires or millionaires out there that would pay anything for an extra few weeks of life, that are sick in bed right now on their deathbed. It's priceless. Cannot buy you time and life. Feeling well, feeling good, feeling healthy, strong is priceless. And people would pay anything for that if they're lacking it. I know guys that, I know gamblers that go to casinos with air tanks. You're probably thinking to yourself, man, this person shouldn't even be gambling right now, A smoke-filled environment with breathing air in the tanks. I feel a certain way about that. But at the same time, I say, hey, if this is their last hurrah in life and they have a limited time on this earth, then I'm all for it, man. Do what you love. Do what you love. If you know that you are about to enter the afterlife and you want to just go out with a bang, I get that too. But before we get there, before we get into that stage of this life, I know that we can have an impact on our health. I know we can bring on longevity a little bit. We have control over this, guys. Yeah, but Vahagan, I know guys that smoke, drink, overweight, and they live a long life. They don't care. In and out, pastrami. It just adds to that. It just adds to the chances of somebody bringing on an illness, bringing on some type of sickness where they're not healthy, guys. I know smoking, like I bring up smoking as an example of all this. I know smoking is terrible for me. What have you been doing? Hi. It's a vlog. Yeah. How you doing? Good. How are you doing? Do you gamble? It's about gambling. Oh, no, I don't. Good for you. Oh, good. Yeah, that's that too. So we have to really be conscious of what we do. And it's hard sometimes, guys. Like, it's hard. It's hard even for me. Like, I've been there and I've been on the other side too. I've been healthy, strong, ideal weight, working out, fit, but and then most of my life I've been overweight. I'll be honest with you. It's partially it's my fault, yeah. Overindulging, partying, drinking, overeating. We have control over that. Sure, some of the genes play a part. My dad has that gene where he gains weight. Some people have that gene where they don't gain weight. So it is what it is, guys. Just bringing awareness to this fact that not only financially you can, it sucks when you gamble, but also physically, I'm going to start eating right again. I'm going to start. And that smoking habit, alcohol I can kick. I can kick alcohol. I'm not addicted to it. But cigarettes I am. Food, It's comfort food sometimes. When we lose in casinos, and let me know in the comments if this is you. When you lose at casinos, what do? Sometimes you want to go and cope with the problem by overeating, and then you feel even worse a couple hours later. It might feel like temporary satisfaction for you, right? It might feel like temporary satisfaction that oh, this is going to cope with the feeling of losing money, and I'm going to feel better. Going to that drive-through and eating all this junk and desserts and all this. I've already done the damage. I don't care. I'm going to go eat some comfort food right now. Once in a while, that's okay. Don't deprive yourself from the taste and the feeling of that. If you're a fan and if you love it. I love junk food. But then when you do it every day and every day and every day, then that's messed up. And I know the feeling. I've been on both sides. And right now I'm trying to get on that healthy side of things. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of sacrifice, and it takes a lot of willpower. If I can go out 1 month and not play my money and just play free play and leave, a gambler that I am and I love slots, I can do this too. Just got to put your mind into it. You got to plan. Watch out, guys. You might be skinny, you might be healthy also, but you might be stressed. Stress is the number one killer. Share this video, guys, with people that want to hear this. Share it. It's very important, okay? It's not only the losing in gambling, it's also all the other side effects of gambling that can take an impact. That can make an impact negatively on our lives. So bringing awareness. I'm doing it because I need to do some of that too. And I say end of summer, I want to be, and I got this dream of mine. I want to be under 200 pounds one day. I was there in 2020 during COVID, under 200, feeling great, but then I started drinking to cope with other things, stresses that I was going through with family. So I was drinking a bottle of vodka every day. When I was thin, I brought in some other addiction. I brought in the alcohol. I would go to the liquor store, buy me a bottle of Absolute. My favorite was the apple flavor. Drink that thing, the whole thing, every night. I was addicted. I was becoming an alcoholic, but then I stopped that. So anyway, the realities of the effects of gambling. You get that here on Storytime Slots too. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great Sunday. Think about what I'm saying. Let me know in the comments, guys, if this rings a bell for you guys. Because I don't want to be that guy that really blows up on YouTube that can't even breathe. Nah, I'm already overweight, but I just got a lot of clothes that I need to fit on. My dream is to just fit on every clothes. You know how many clothes I have? Closets filled with clothes that I want to fit into, finally. That's my goal. Live a healthy lifestyle, enjoy my life, but number one, if I want change, I have to change. If I don't change, no one's gonna change this. And this Ozempic bullshit, stay away from that. There is no magic pill to this. There is no magic. There's not a pill you can take that overnight you're amazing. No, it's all hard work, sweat, tears, blood. Go out there, exercise, live a stress as much as you can, stress-free life. All right, and if you need to cut down on gambling to do that, do it. All right, guys, we'll leave it at that. 30 minutes, it's pretty good. We'll see you on the next video, Storytime Slots. Like I said, share this video with your friends. Very important, okay? Very important for you to do. Rock and roll. We'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.